Coming up on OU Nightly, Helene slams Florida and continues beating against the Southeast. Your campus weather authority has the very latest information. Plus, how Oklahomans are helping those hit hardest by the storm. And the Sooners are bound for Auburn. We break down the first SEC away game in Big Friday sports. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Olivia Hayes.
And I'm Darian Curry. We begin tonight with former Hurricane Helene's impact as the East Coast braces for help with flooding and damage. Oklahoma groups have begun responding to the need for help.
OU Nightly's Kennedy Patterson joins us live to tell us how some Oklahomans are lending a helping hand.
That's right. I'm here outside of OG&E where members of the OKC branch were actually sent to the East Coast. Now, this morning they were on their way to help companies restore power to families affected by the hurricane yesterday.
But here at OG&E, that's what we're about really, is helping people, lending a hand.
99 crew members loaded their trucks yesterday morning, heading to Georgia to face the damages of scenes like these.
Anytime there's an event that's maybe lurking on their area and their territory, they'll begin to reach out for support.
But even with help from other states, Florida resident Anita Smith says getting back to normal takes some time.
Sometimes that's years. People who lose almost everything and trying to get back on their feet.
And though in the midst of a disaster, the outpour of support is what stands out to those affected.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to witness. We witnessed in prior storms, linemen and power companies from all over the United States coming and being here to help get the power back on so quickly.
Develops. So now we know that OG&E plans to have its employees in Georgia for about the next 2 weeks. We'll keep you updated as more information develops. In Norman, Kennedy Patterson, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Kennedy. Now, former Hurricane Helene continues to spin north, and at least 25 deaths are blamed on the former hurricane. CNN's Michael Yoshida is in Florida with the latest.
This is still a very dangerous situation. Even though some of the storm surge is receding in Florida.
Boats on yards in front of homes, roofs torn off, trees toppled, vehicles crushed. Many Floridians are assessing Helene's punishing overnight blow while the threat moved north.
There's still so much that's happening across many states.
Potentially historic and devastating flood levels are washing across large parts of the southeast.
We're also trying to get to multiple structures right now that we know have individuals inside that we're unable to communicate with.
Georgia's governor confirming Friday afternoon that multiple people remain trapped in buildings. Water rescues in that state and others have essentially been nonstop since Helene's landfall. In North Carolina, forecasters predict Helene's impact to be one of the most significant weather events to happen in the modern era for the region. At least 2 storm-related fatalities have happened there. Around mountainous Asheville, already saturated from pre-Helene rains, there are other threats.
I am worried about potential building falling and collapses and landslides.
The river just keeps coming up. I don't know when it's supposed to crest today, but
trees are down on roads everywhere. Don't get out if you don't have to.
Good advice echoed by just about every emergency management official.
You need to exercise extreme caution.
In Steinhatchee, Florida, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
And continuing our coverage on the remnants from Hurricane Helene, a family member of an OU Nightly reporter sent in video from Georgia showcasing that extreme flooding and damage. Officials in several states caution that outages in some areas could take days to restore.
And as Helene continues to flood communities in the southeast,
the effects of the storm will continue for weeks. OU Nightly meteorologist Alexa Dringas has more on those effects. Alexa, what's the latest? Yeah, we're currently taking a look here of the former remnants of former Hurricane Helene. Last night, it impacted Perry, Florida as a Category 4 hurricane and has degressed into a post-tropical cyclone over the last few hours. And currently, we can see it's situated over the Mississippi River Valley, where it is just continuing to dump several inches of rain. A lot of these areas are currently under flash flood warnings and flood warnings. So especially, they're going to see a lot of rain over the next few days. As we take a look into our later forecast, we can see we're going to be talking about a quiet weather pattern here in Norman. Continue to track former Hurricane Helene and give you your game day forecast. Thanks, Alexa. A proposition on Russia-Ukraine from former President Donald Trump if he is reelected.
We'll tell you what he's proposing coming up next.
Plus, U.S. Marshals arrest thousands of fugitives in a surge operation.
Information on these arrests and more after the break.
Did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
When we have the food we need, we are at our best. We push further. We rise higher. We unlock our full potential. When we have the food we need, we make our communities stronger. Together, we can help everyone get the food they need to thrive. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
An Israeli official says today's strike on the Lebanese capital Beirut was a targeted attack on a Hezbollah leader. Emma McAndrews has that in the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center. Emma?
The Lebanese officials reported that several buildings were destroyed and at least 2 have been killed and 76 people injured. President Biden says the U.S. has no knowledge of or participation in the attacks in Beirut and is waiting for more information before commenting on today's airstrikes. And today, former President Donald Trump says if elected, he's ready to work out a Russian-Ukraine peace deal. Trump met with Ukrainian President Zelensky to give him the chance to make a personal pitch for U.S. security assistance for Ukraine. Trump stated today he has a good relationship with Russian President Putin, and if he wins the presidential race, he will get the war resolved quickly. And the U.S. Marshals have arrested thousands of violent fugitives this year in a wide-ranging surge operation. Today, the agency says it used FBI crime data to take over 3,400 offenders off the street across 10 cities. These offenders range from people wanted for homicide, sexual offenses, assaults, and gun crimes. This include the seizing also included 500 firearms, $500,000 US, and illegal narcotics. And today, one of Britain's best-known actresses, Dame Maggie Smith, has died. Her long career ranged from on stage in Othello to on screen in Harry Potter and Downton Abbey. She was 89. Darian, Olivia. Thanks, Emma. She will be missed. Now, a fun story coming up about our very own Sooners in Washington, D.C.
How these fans are enjoying football up north while also helping our very own. That's coming up.
Coming up, we're going to continue to track the remnants of Helene, talk about what we're going to see here in Norman, and your game day forecast for Auburn. Now back to you.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused. A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body,
it's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, if your shower can fill a 1-gallon bucket in less than 20 seconds, replace the shower head with a water-efficient one. They are cheap, easy to install, and can save you up to 750 gallons a month. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
Currently here in Norman, we're sitting at about 83 degrees, so really nice and beautiful outside, not a cloud in the sky, and humidity is very low, but those light winds are really helping us stay a little bit cool here. And taking a look at the Oklahoma City Metro, we can see those temperatures are pretty similar, 85 in El Reno, 84 in Oklahoma City, and 83 out here in Shawnee. But taking a look at the big picture we see here, we can see our air mass forecast, Elk City, Norman, these winds are going, sorry about that, everyone, technical difficulties. We're tracking the remnants of what is formerly known as Hurricane Helene. It is now a post-tropical cyclone here. We can see the remnants are situated over the Mississippi River Valley, and it is just dumping several inches of rain to this area. So these areas are being really impacted. There are some flood warnings and watches in these areas. And as we head into the rest of our weekend, we can see it's still going to remain over that area and eventually make its way northeastern as we head into the Monday evening. Looking at our allergy report for those here in Norman, we don't have to worry about those remnants of Hurricane Helene, but we do have to worry about the allergies that we see here. Weeds is high and mold is high as well, and we can also see that medium is grass. And that's really going to impact us all. But tonight we're going to take a look at those low temperatures, 60 degrees here in Norman, 61 in Oklahoma City. So those temperatures are going to be relatively cool. Not as cool as what we saw during the beginning of the week, but relatively cool enough. But taking a look at your game day forecast for Auburn, for those of you traveling, here's what to expect. You're going to see some beautiful conditions tomorrow. Tailgate, we're going to be sitting around 74 degrees with some cloudy conditions. As we head into kickoff, we're going to see temperatures in the upper 70s, and they're just going to go up by a little bit, 1 or 2 degrees, so nearing the 80s around halftime. But other than that, it's just going to be beautiful tomorrow. So hope you all enjoy the game day. As we take a look at our 7-day forecast for here in Norman, we're going to see that those temperatures are going to gradually decrease around Tuesday and Wednesday, but they'll increase back as we head into Thursday and Friday. So enjoy that beautiful weather and those winds, and you're going to have some nice sunny conditions. Now, Saturday means football in Norman, but you can hear the roaring sound of Sooners coming together to cheer on their team all the way in Washington, D.C. The OU Alumni Capital Club puts on Saturday watch parties for alumni and undergrads to come and watch the games together.
President Rainey Sewell tells OU Nightly the club has been around for quite some time. All fun and football aside, the club also gives back to students by giving out scholarships to interns from Oklahoma who are coming to D.C. for the summer. And it's OU football's first SEC away game, and all eyes are on Auburn this Saturday.
Our OU Nightly sports team is live in Auburn for the big day. Britton, Aiden?
That's right. We are live outside of Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, and we're going to break down everything you need to know before the OU game on Saturday. Next in Big Friday Sports.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink, or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking, now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed, better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead, catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here are some water conservation tips you can try. In the kitchen, collect the excess water you use to rinse produce and use it to water houseplants. Also, soak your pots and pans instead of letting the water run while you scrape them. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman. Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. It's time for Big Friday Sports. I'm Emily LaBeth.
And I'm Cam Williams. The Sooners are making a trip south on Saturday to face the in-conference Auburn Tigers. OU Nightly reporters Britton Ross and Avon Tyler are live outside Jordan-Hare Stadium with more.
Hello and welcome to Auburn, Alabama. We're outside of Jordan-Hare Stadium. I'm Britton Ross. Alongside me is Aiden Tyler. And Aiden, this is OU's first trip to Auburn, and it's ours too.
Yeah, and you cannot make the trip down to Auburn without stopping for some Toomer's Lemonade. We were able to stop by earlier, and it was great.
It was really, really good. And speaking of really good,
the times where we give big stuff up on defense is we're literally giving it to them. So we
just continue to show up to work every day. I mean, obviously we're not clicking at the moment.
25-15 loss. And senior defensive back Billy Bowman wasn't too happy with the defense's mistakes.
Yeah, I feel like the times where we give big stuff up on defense is we're literally giving it to them. So we gift wrap it with a bow and handed it to them. If we eliminate the big plays and we tackle better, myself included, we'll be even better than we can be. So yes, we still have room to improve. We played good, but there's still more to go.
The ball moving against Tennessee, they've struggled to build momentum all season long.
Well, we've heard about the defense. What about the offense?
The Sooners' offense has struggled to build momentum all season long, and it was evident against Tennessee. And it's mainly because of the poor offensive line play. Redshirt senior Branson Hickman believes that the big boys up front have to go and put in some overtime if they want to improve.
Yeah, just continue to show up to work every day. I mean, obviously we're not clicking at the moment, and just got to keep doing more. We're doing more. We're meeting more together outside of the allotted times and stuff. We're trying to really up our level. So, I mean, it's really just about showing up every day, ready to work and competing to the best of our ability.
And on the way into Auburn, we experienced some spooky weather with that hurricane. And well, Jordan-Hare Stadium right behind us is rumored to be haunted. So it might not matter which quarterback starts for the Sooners on Saturday. And while at SEC Media Days, I was able to get the story. Take a look. The 13th floor of SEC Media Days may not be haunted, but there may be somewhere else in the SEC that is. Georgia quarterback Carson Beck told Oklahoma QB Jackson Arnold that Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn is cursed for opposing QBs. And the Auburn squad seems to think that there's nothing quite like their home field advantage.
Well, it's loud as crap, so that is number one. You know, I don't know anything about something being cursed or not, you know, so I guess I can't speak on that, but I think we have incredible fans, and it starts with our fans and how they pack the stadium and the energy they bring. You know, they're not some old folks who sit there and, you know, enjoy a Saturday. You know, they're all there to make an impact. They understand the impact that they can make, and they do it. And so our fans are outstanding.
Yeah, two straight years of sellout. We're thankful to our fans for doing that. They're faithful, they're loyal, they love their Auburn Tigers. And then our student section is the best. I mean, we get there 2 hours before the game, and it is packed already. Everybody wants the lottery to get the tickets to the games they want, and it's wish we had bigger space for all of them to come.
The Sooners get the spooky season started early on September 28th when they visit Auburn for the first time ever. Reporting from SEC Media Days, I'm Aiden Tyler. We'll have to see tomorrow how the true freshman Michael Hawkins Jr. handles the spirits that might be inside of Jordan-Hare Stadium when he makes his first career start.
Well, that's all we have from Auburn today. Make sure to follow OU Nightly on all of our social media for updates on the game, and watch Game Day U Saturdays at 9 a.m., OU's only football pregame show on TV. Reporting in Auburn for Aiden Tyler, I'm Britton Ross, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Burton and Aiden, and sorry about those technical difficulties. The SEC Network's Jordan Rogers is set to be the TV analyst for this game at Jordan-Hare. And OU Nightly sports reporter Kaylee Jo Hummel caught up with the Bachelorette winner at SEC Media Days.
Now, I know you know a thing or two about receiving the final rose.
I do, yes.
But I'm gonna switch it up on you.
Okay.
And instead, I'm gonna have you give out your final rose to each one of OU's SEC opponents.
I like it, okay.
First, SEC away game, Auburn.
Jordan-Hare is a tough place to play, so I'm gonna lean towards Auburn. I'm gonna give them the rose on that one.
Okay, and then next up, we have big rivalry, OU Texas.
I'm gonna give that one to Texas. I think they're a little further ahead than Oklahoma is right now, but that one's always a fun rivalry.
South Carolina, what are we thinking?
Where's that one at?
That's at home in Norman.
Oh, I'm giving that rose is going to Oklahoma. I think they get that one done for sure.
And then next, away game at Ole Miss.
I'm going to go Ole Miss with that one. Oxford is a fun place, so if you're an Oklahoma fan, go experience the Grove.
Another away game, this time Missouri.
Oh, man, you guys are going to hate me. I'm going to give that one to Mizzou. Okay, Mizzou is one of the most underrated, difficult places to play because it's kind of funky.
Alabama's coming to Norman.
Okay, I'm giving that one to Bama. Bama's going to be tough next year, and Milroe is talented. That defense in Oklahoma is going to keep them in it. Again, Oklahoma's not getting not an easy out for anybody. They're not getting blown out by anybody.
LSU in Death Valley.
Man, I should have looked at the schedule before I did this. Death Valley's a nightmare. Death Valley's really tough, and I think LSU, best offensive line in the entire country. They lose Jaden Daniels, but I think they're going to be steadily improving as the season goes on.
Well, thank you so much. That's all we have from SEC Media Days. We'll keep you updated on our social media. Reporting for OU Nightly, I'm Kaylee Jo Hummel.
There was a high school football showdown in the 405 last night, and OU Nightly sports reporter Andrew West has more on the local matchup.
Yeah, buddy. Welcome to Airing It Out with Andrew. Sooner fans should be excited for this one as we're heading to the home of Drake Stoops and Trey Young this week as the Norman North Timberwolves host the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs. We're going to find out who's got the bigger dog in them in this one. It took a while to get going, but Edmond Memorial running back Nick Booker tumbles his way in the end zone late in the second to bump the Bulldogs out in front. Jump into the third quarter, Edmond Memorial quarterback and Kansas Jayhawk commit David McComb finds receiver Billy McDown, and it's safe to say it's starting to look like a lost cause for Norman North as Edmond Memorial goes up 14-0. Late in the fourth quarter, McComb again on third and long keeps it himself, and these Bulldog receivers can teach OU receivers a thing or two about blocking. McComb tells number 11, "Get off me, son," hit the weight room as he seals a dominant win over Norman North 21-6. After the game, we caught up with Norman North receiver Mason James. The four-star was coming off a massive visit with the Sooners.
It was a really memorable experience for me. It was really crazy. Exactly what I expected. Tennessee had a huge fan base there, which is really fun to see what other SEC teams are bringing into Oklahoma. It was really fun to watch OU, even though it had some of the receivers down. But Coach Venables is definitely going to keep his head up going into the next game, so it's all going to be good.
James also said his connection with OU receivers coach Emmett Jones is strong and grows every day. Emily, Cam.
Thanks for airing it out with us today, Andrew. Coming up on Big Friday Sports, we'll share how fans and alumni are feeling about OU joining the SEC.
And don't go away. Stick around to see the recap of OU volleyball's first SEC match versus Florida.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping. Got a few minutes? You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
We said we'd never break the 3-second rule. Never do that. And never become a minivan mom.
Hey, Chris.
As parents, we say never a lot, but never happens. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
If you're heading down to Auburn for game day tomorrow, you're going to see some really nice weather and some nice conditions. Just around tailgating time, temperatures are going to be sitting in the low 70s with cloudy conditions. And as you head into kickoff, those temperatures are going to increase just a little bit to 77 degrees, halftime 78. So we're going to stay under the 80s for tomorrow, and you're going to really enjoy these conditions. Still be sure to stay hydrated and have a lot of fun.
Thanks, Alexa. OU officially joined the SEC on July 1st, a full day of celebration. Fans, coaches, and OU alumni came together to share their opinion on the conference move, and I got the story. Take a look.
Kings of the conference. Sitting at the head of the throne of the Big 12 is none other than OU football. The Sooners claim 14 championships for the conference, which is not only the most, but 10 more than the team in second, Texas. I spoke to 2 analysts on how OU will stack up against the other teams in the SEC conference.
I think what excites them the most is honestly getting OU and Texas together, bringing that rivalry. I feel like the SEC understand, most of the fan bases in the SEC understand the brand, understand the history, understand most of the traditions. The fact that for the last 25 years this program has won way more games than it's lost and more championships than it hasn't on a conference level, they get that.
A former Sooner player isn't as optimistic the conference is ready for the addition of OU.
I do kind of wonder if they know exactly what they're getting. I think that it seems sometimes like Texas is the prize and Oklahoma is just kind of somewhat of a throw-in. I don't know if they fully appreciate or understand the tradition of this place.
But he is confident OU can improve among the top teams in the country.
They're heading to a place that you're going to see more and more competitive high-level football. I think there's a hope that, you know, as you level up into this conference, it's going to help Oklahoma football.
OU is swimming with sharks now. As of today, 5 of their 7 remaining SEC opponents are ranked in the top 15. Reporting for OU Nightly, I'm Emily LaBeth.
If you like SEC football, get ready for a fun weekend. Number 2 ranked Georgia travels to Tuscaloosa to take on 4th ranked Alabama. Arkansas and Texas A&M meet in the annual Southwest Classic at AT&T Stadium. And number 1 ranked Texas hosts Mississippi State in a showdown in Austin.
Thanks for watching Big Friday Sports. I'm Emily LaBeth.
And I'm Karen Williams. Have a fun and safe weekend.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks.